Welcome to Charlotte Sports Today. I'm Chaz Bryant. Today we featured three events in the month of January that really started off 2011 with a bang. Or make that a bam. Or how about a black eye? Or really, it could have been a stranglehold. Well, whatever the case may be, if you're a fan of the sweet science, or jiu-jitsu, or the mixed martial arts, for a 2-week span this past January, you had to be loving it. First, we'll start off with the 2011 Fight Night for Kids. Held at the Charlotte Convention Center, the Charlotte Sports Commission staged a premier event. The Black Tie Gala was able to bring out the area's who's who, benefiting the local area's children's charity. And over the past several years, they have been able to raise over $1 million for such worthy causes. Local celebrities, including Mick Mixon, the voice of the Carolina Panthers, former Panther quarterback Steve Burline, Hall of Fame boxer Lucia Riker, and Charlotte's own American Idol winner and Grammy nominee Fantasia Barrino. So obviously, the crowd was thrilled with both world-class talent, both in and out of the ring. What the crowd witnessed was both a display of power and finesse, and potential world champions, and many of the competitors will start training for the 2012 Summer Olympics in London, as men and now women will be able to compete for the first time ever in the Olympics. Let's take a look at some of the action from that evening.
gentlemen, according to our judges here at ringside, we have a draw.
What a great way to spend a night, seeing a stacked fight card and helping out some of the great charities in the area. To Fight Day, as in all day. On January 29th, the Grady Cole Center was home of the 8th annual Monster Energy Quest for the Best Jiu-Jitsu tournament. By morning and by night, turned into a Smash Mouth High Energy Misery Loves Company MMA event staged by Fight Lab Promotion. Competitors from all over the Southeast came to challenge themselves along some of the best.
No gi, beginner, lightweight. No gi, beginner, lightweight. Table 2. No gi, beginner, lightweight. Table 2.
Let's go, Brian!
Beginners, masters, super heavy. Masters, beginner, super heavy. Masters, beginner, super heavy. Table 2. Table 2.
The Quest for the Best tournament has quickly become a local grappling favorite among its competitors and jiu-jitsu enthusiasts alike. Competitors from all over the Southeast came to challenge themselves along some of the best, and they were not disappointed. All age groups, both men and women, laid it all on the line, which pleased event organizer Joe Hurst.
We've been doing the Bud Cup here. Now Munster's taking this over. Really excited about the involvement of Munster taking over the Bud Cup. So now it'll be the Munster Cup from this day forward. We're really excited about that. Fight Labs was having a show up here, a mixed martial arts show, and we kind of brainstormed and got together. And Kenny Letts and I said, well, let's do it. Let's do both shows at the same day in the same place. And you can't really not do jiu-jitsu and then not get in the cage. So it's kind of like showing the entry level to get to where you got to go. So it's a good reason to why we did this first compared to the cage last. So that's how we got together and decided to do this. Yeah, that's the exciting part about it, because when you come to the night, and I'll be here too to watch the fights, you'll see some of the submission holds, the angles, and the positions that you're seeing with the people behind me. Some of these guys, the submission holds and the positions you see fighting, they can't do while being hit in the face. So then it's got to alter the game a little bit. But without this base, you can't really go to the next level. Dale Earnhardt Jr. and I, when we started this, it was 8 years ago, we had no clue to the involvement of how people were going to take it and to what levels. And back then I was one of very few schools. But now if you look around the surrounding cities, you can find a school on almost every street corner. So it's like the growth of the sport and the TVs and stuff like that's helped a lot since I first came here. And So it's been a blessing to watch the sport grow, and the less politics you see involved with it is really the key to this art and the love of this sport. I want to thank Eric Mixon and the guys at Beeler Wholesale and Chaz Bryant, and a lot of good people that helped out, and really a lot of respect to those guys for helping us get to where we are today. Thank you very much.
While the quest for the best tournament may be sweet poetry to some, Fight Lab's Misery Loves Company 3 was pure, hardcore, head-banging rock to others. Loud, fast-paced, sledgehammer action. If you're lucky enough to sit close, you might be able to feel the sweat and blood fly off with every punch. Let's take a look at some of the highlights. Kevin France submitted Bradley pretty quick by rear naked choke at 143 in the first round. Our man behind the scenes conducting post-fight interviews is none other than the reigning Fight Lab 145 champion, Mike the Kid Powell.
You just made honestly what seemed like quick work of Bradley the Rainbow Essex. Is there anything that you did or expected from Bradley Essex tonight?
I expected him to go for the takedown right out of the gate. That's exactly what he did. Stuffed his takedown. I hit him with a nice solid knee. He went down, took his back. Rear naked choke is the end of the story there. All
right, so when you were getting ready for this fight, you were working a lot of takedowns. Is there anything you did different in your camp? Just more wrestling, or?
Just we concentrated on takedown defense. I noticed in a lot of my fights that it's not as strong as it needs to be, and it's something we wanted to work on this camp, and we knew we were going against a guy who was going to challenge that.
All right. Well, is there anybody you'd like to fight next? You know, here at Fight Lab.
Here at Fight Lab, I mean, I'd like to fight for the belt again.
You want to fight for the belt? Well, you know it's up for grabs again, and then the winner of that's going to get Mr. Jason Lineberg.
All right.
So you're in a little bit of a line. Is there anybody you'd like to thank?
I need to thank all my sponsors. Nikki's Tattoo. She did some great work on my leg right here if you want to check that out. Carolina Bail Bonds. Plush Salon takes care of my hair. Am I forgetting Highston, IMB, Dime Boxing? I don't know if I'm forgetting anybody else.
Do you have the number to your stylist, because you do have actually gorgeous hair?
Plush Salon, guys.
Plush
Look
Salon.
it up online. It's in South Park area. Jay Cruz. Call Jay Cruz.
Jay Cruz. All right, buddy. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
You did work tonight, sir. You have a good night. But Dennis
is fine.
Dennis? I'm here with Dennis today, and will you walk me through the fight and tell me what your take on it was exactly?
Well, my strength is my ground game. I wrestled for a long time. I've been to plenty of jiu-jitsu tournaments and fared off pretty well. So my game plan in the fight was to take it to the ground. I didn't actually expect to take him down that fast. It just kind of, I saw an opening, I took it, and other than that, my game plan was to put him up against the cage and punish him, and it was what I did.
All right, so we had a misconstrued when we were watching. Was that a trip or was it a high cross?
It was a trip.
It was a trip. So we had a trip takedown and then just some vicious ground and pound. How long would you say that you just practiced that part of your game for this particular fight?
Well, honestly, can't tell you how long I've practiced that exact thing. I didn't think it was going to go down like that. I've worked in the cage before. I've worked a lot of cage tactics, and I mean, it was kind of my game plan all along. That's, like I said, my strength is my ground game. So, I mean, in the course of the last month and a half, I've probably put in, 5 days a week, 6 days a week, anywhere from 3 to 4 or 5 hours a day of work. So, I say overall, if you want to add that up, you tell me, because I don't know how long I put that in.
Where you're training, how long you've been training with, and who you want to thank?
Well, first I'd like to thank everyone from East Coast Fighter. That's where I'm training. These are the guys. I got Paulo, he's a Brazilian black belt. Jim Armlin, he's the Muay Thai instructor at East Coast Fighter, and Nelson, he's the brown belt there. They've all helped me out so much, and like I said, I've been training overall for over 2 years now. I did wrestling all throughout high school, a little bit in college, and I've been doing jiu-jitsu and Muay Thai for, like I said, about 2 years now. So I'd like to thank them more than anything. Without them, I wouldn't be here. And all my training buddies back at East Coast Fighter, I want to thank you for sure.
All right. So, your favorite old school dance number on 3. 1, 2.
I got nothing.
You don't know the Charleston?
No.
Can I get a Charleston?
All right, I'll do that.
Give me the Charleston one time. There we go. We have the Charleston from Dennis. Go celebrate, buddy. Congratulations, man. with Nick the Vanilla Gorilla Smith, who has just claimed the new undisputed welterweight championship here at Fight Lab Promotions at Misery Loves Company. What did you look for in this fight that set this one off?
I just knew that I had him in the wrestling game. I knew that he couldn't stop my takedowns. I trained with a lot bigger guys than he is. I've wrestled for a long time, and I've never had someone I couldn't take down. So coming into it, that's the game plan. Not to mention, only the squad survives, man. It ain't only the strong survive. You can't do this stuff by yourself. You need a good team to back you up. So I got 16150, Renegade, and The Rock MMA, baby.
So has your training camp changed at all in preparation at all?
Definitely. I'm training down at Renegade now. There ain't nothing but wolves down there every day. I knew if I got every day at Renegade that there was nothing he could show me in that cave that could stop me.
All right, so your wrestling was just really strong, man. You looked amazing. Was that armbar he had in the first or second round? How close was that?
It was really close. It was very tight, but I knew if I kept him pinned up and pressured that he couldn't extend his hips and he couldn't finish it. It honestly wore my arm out. By the end of the first round, my arms were shot because he held me in there and hung on so long. It was like curling a human being with just one arm.
Now I'm gonna tell you, the honest to God truth, that performance was, I think, the best I've seen from the Vanilla Gorilla. Do you have any idea where you want to go from here?
Anywhere, man. I'm gonna do whatever Fight Lab wants to bring on to me. I'm in this sport to fight the best people and go for the competition. And I love to hit a flying triangle like my man right here in the fight. Other than that, so
who does Nick the Vanilla Gorilla Smith want to thank right now?
I want to thank God first of all. I want to thank Team Renegade, The Rock MMA, and CrossFit for all LKN, all for them late night practices. And I got to thank absolutely 16150 for being behind me the whole way since day one.
All right, I've got one side question. What is Nick the Vanilla Gorilla's favorite dance move?
Ooh, it has to be the gorilla walk. You've seen it in the victory, but you always got to end it with the banana.
All right, we need to see the whole thing right now. I need to learn how to do the gorilla walk.
You want to see it?
We need to see it.
You've never seen it. You start off the gorilla position. Give one good twirl, up to the banana.
All right, we've got Nick the Vanilla Gorilla Smith and the rest of his boys. We're going out.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here with Mike the Kid Powell, the 145 champion of Fight Lab, who's covered the fights for us here at the Misery Loves Company 3 up here at the Grady Cole Center. Mike, we saw some great fights. Just hit on some of the fights we saw. Let's go with this Josh Chapata fight versus Adam Friedman. How do you see that one?
You know, it was one of those fights where I wish they would have either had a little bit more time or maybe looked at it a little bit differently. There was a couple moments where there should have been a finish or could have been a finish, and it was never quite attainable. It was a good matchup stylistically, but it was one of those ones where you wish it had an extra round or something to make it more decisive.
Then we had the Antonio Woodward versus John Henning fight. How'd that one come out for you?
You know, Antonio Woodward is a great wrestler from I do believe he's been around Team 1. He's fought on a couple scrap cards. He's just a good all-around grimy wrestler, and it's what it takes sometimes. He fought a good guy in John Henning with his height, and he overcompensated sometimes and overcommitted, and he ate a couple shots, but at the end of the day, John got cut. Antonio inked out his decision and got it in a pleasing way. I would be happy with it.
You know, John Henning came in with a loss. He had up at Elite Antonio Freeman, I believe, last fought up in Winston again versus Justin Potts. So these two young guys coming out, they may have a good future for them, but it's going to take some time to rebuild.
I watched the Justin Potts fight with Antonio. He looked amazing. You know, I didn't get to catch the other fight. I didn't get to catch John's fight, but you know, yeah, they're two young cats, you know, and both of them have the world in front of them. They just gotta get their heads right and stay after it.
Well, they have the stamina to go on, but let's move along to the big guys. You had the Chris Smith versus Amos Collins. Amos, I believe, took the fight within the week. I believe within like 3 days. And those two guys, the crowd didn't like it after a little while, but maybe the verdict went to the right guy.
You know, Amos Collins and Chris Smith, either way that one goes, you gotta love it. You've got two guys that have a disdain for each other, and both of them are looking at Jason Lineberger with the same tenacity. So either way it goes, if it does become that slow ground game, why are we booing? I mean, it's part of this game, and if you love this sport, then you're not gonna boo that, you're gonna applaud that. You're gonna notice that everything they're doing is magnified by 10 because they're carrying a 155-pound book bag in that case.
We have the main event, the coup de grace at the end of it. After 11 fights, the main event, Michael Ale versus Nick Smith. These two guys went down to the last wire. The last Hail Mary, as Adam Dehart runs past us, I believe. They went down to the last Hail Mary, the fourth quarter, that final 2 minutes there in the game. And there you see Nick Smith put it out.
You know, I've got to give Nick Smith every prop I can. Michael Ale is a tough guy, one of the toughest in the state at 170, I do believe, with my entire heart. Nick Smith showed up on point, ready to go, and right here he comes. Nick, the Vanilla Gorilla Smith, wave for the camera. Along with a couple other of the 161
hoodlums coming out.
But you've got to applaud Nick Smith and his efforts, and you've got to be happy with that fight. It was nothing but pure tenacity from both fighters. Michael Ale was punching from his back. We don't see that too often, and maybe it isn't a good idea.
It was a pure all-around war going all these fights. It was a great evening, I thought. Quickly, anything that stuck out with you?
You know, honestly, you had Roy Hughes Jr.'s big, I guess it would have been an uppercut, what have you. That sticks out a lot. You had Mr. Freeland, who was just on point with everything, come out, dropped a knee on Bradley the Rainbow Essick and end up putting him away. Bradley coming back from that rib injury like it's been covered before. You know, it was a tough night, and there were some tough guys. Everybody that made that walk, I commend you.
Yeah, you can't. I've been covering this about a year and a half now, and you can't. I've never disrespected. I've never once questioned the heart of these young guys, even if they come out and lose tonight. It's the effort just going back in the ring and getting up there and getting punched in the face or choked out or something like that. I don't disrespect it.
There's no way you can. I mean, you've got guys that have severe nerves. You've got guys who come out kind of almost chauvinistically, but it's fun at the end of the day, and these guys go out there, put their heart on the line, you know, risk getting physically injured, and I mean, they're warriors. These guys are the warriors of today's time.
I agree. Have fun?
I had a blast.
You didn't even have to pay anything, did you?
No, sir.
Just
Fight Lab takes care of all their
got a free
fighters.
T-shirt, too.
Yes, sir. And it apparently, Mike the Kid Powell is a ninja today.
Anybody want to say hello to?
You know, I would enjoy very thoroughly saying what's happening, Kenny Letts. Big ups to Tom. Of course, the ever beautiful Chaz Bryant.
Smile.
You know, my guys back home, Joe Hurst Jiu-Jitsu, from Joe Hurst to Brian Keller, Brandon Brown, who's been making random appearances.
Well,
you know,
he's got cameo appearances, but he's a star like that.
He does.
When you're a star like that,
He might as well just go ahead and knock out E.T. and pop up in the next Scary Movie.
I don't know if I wanted to have you in front of the camera again. I enjoy it, man. You're good people. For Charlotte Sports Today, I'm Chaz Bryant. We'll see you next time. Appreciate it.